City officials in the state of New York are cracking down on their drug problem with the use of bright pink envelopes.
When COVID hit, many sports teams had to take a break, but the UNT Rock Climbing team is back and better than ever.
And how students here at UNT helped raise money for Cook Children's Hospital.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thank you for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Leslie Juarez.
And I'm Chris Goodwin.
The safety of Congress members is called into question after Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked in their home during a break-in. Though their house is monitored by cameras, officers did not notice until after 10 minutes. Since former President Donald Trump's election in 2016, Capitol Police have recorded an increase in violent threats against lawmakers to more than 9,600 from about 900 just last year. The Capitol Police Chief has since expressed the need for more resources to better equipped to improve security for Congress members going forward. The intruder is now in custody and under trial and has pleaded not guilty as of yesterday. And as of yesterday morning, we tragically lost a rap sensation. Our reporter Aisha Alcorn has more.
That's right, Leslie. Music fans worldwide are in shock and despair after hearing 28-year-old Takeoff, member of the Atlanta hip-hop rap group Migos, was fatally shot yesterday morning in Houston, Texas. The group's members also included Takeoff's uncle Quavo and once-removed cousin Offset. The group is known for their hit songs Bad and Bougie, Motorsport, and more. Takeoff attended a private party with about 40 to 50 people at 810 Billiards and Bowling located in downtown Houston. After the party, an argument occurred and shots were fired. Graphic videos and photos of the deceased have been released across multiple media platforms. While he was seen as a reserved individual, Takeoff still made an impact on fans and many within the music industry. Drew Findling, Takeoff's lawyer, described the death as a devastating loss, particularly for Atlanta. No suspects have been arrested at this time. However, Houston PD is hoping witnesses who fled the scene will come forward and provide more information. Back to you, Chris and Leslie.
Suspected drug dealers are being called out by the city of Rochester, New York, with a new method to deter current and potential buyers by sending out pink envelopes. CNN's Chase Howell has more on the story.
Bright pink will soon be mailed to people spotted buying drugs on North Clinton Avenue.
This is not a criminal arrest, so we don't have to witness an exchange of drugs and money. We need to see some interactions between a drug dealer and someone driving in the area.
Inside the envelope, a letter with details of their encounter with the drug dealer and a list of criminal and safety risks.
This is not an inner city, low-income problem. This is a problem, frankly, of people who have money to a great extent and are not city residents to a great extent.
While filming this story, we saw RPD and its narcotics team going into a business on North Clinton. That's just a few blocks from where Cliff lives.
And I walked to the been to the AutoZone and Needles right there at the door, and just people walking down my street right here.
Cliff says he's been sober now for a year after using crack cocaine for nearly 20 years.
We can't do it on our own. You have to always ask somebody for help, and that's what I did.
Maybe this will scare some people enough that they'll seek the help instead of continuing to come to Clinton Avenue or wherever else they're coming to buy drugs.
Chase Howell, 13 WHAM News.
Buyers beware. Though it's not a formal arrest, officials are keeping their eye out.
Chris, did you feel that cool weather coming into campus this morning?
Yeah, just walking to the studio, I had to have my jacket on, but I'm in love with all the winter fashion I'm seeing. Let's go to our weather anchor, Peter Rabel, for more for today's weather.
Thanks so much, guys. So I've got a news bulletin for you. And the bulletin is the weather outside is nice, but it feels just a little bit cooler with 68. We've got 11-mile-an-hour winds right now, so that's keeping things just a little bit cooler. Looking at tonight, though, we're going to see that things are actually going to stay pretty warm, all things considered, for November. It is 64, and it's going to stay feeling about 64, but the wind's going to pick up just a little bit as the clouds continue to come in tonight. And then looking toward tomorrow, I believe the clouds are actually going to go away just a little bit. It's going to feel a little bit warmer. It's going to feel feel all the way up to 71. It's going to be 12-mile-an-hour wind. So we're kind of keeping it warm right now, but that's all I have for you guys for the first look. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Peter. A new study shows that roughly 1 out of 5 deaths of U.S. adult ages 20 to 49 is due to excessive drinking. The study was published on Tuesday in the journal JAMA Network Open. It was also found that 1 in 8 deaths was drinking related for people ages 20 to 64, making it a leading cause for preventable death. The study showed drinking related causes of death including vehicle accidents, alcohol poisoning, and other health impacts like liver disease. The data included the deaths that were either fully or partially attributable to excessive drinking. The study also found deaths related to alcohol have gone up in the past decade.
Major pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart have agreed to pay up to $12 billion to settle over 3,000 opioid lawsuits. The lawsuits were brought up by both state and local governments, which claimed that the pharmaceutical retailers mishandled opioid prescriptions. The lawsuits accused manufacturers and distributors of not seriously expressing the severity of addiction risk and failing to prevent illegal use of the painkillers. The opioid crisis has claimed more than 500,000 lives during the past 2 decades, 80,000 just last year alone.
If you're pregnant, your doctor has probably told you drinking 1 cup of coffee or tea is fine. But according to a new study published on Monday, consuming even a small amount of caffeine while pregnant could impact your child's growth. The study found children who were exposed to caffeine before birth were on average shorter than children of women who did not consume caffeine while pregnant. The differences were found at least through age 8, but researchers did not determine if the size would continue into adulthood. Experts recommend limiting caffeine to less than 200 milligrams a day while pregnant. That is about 1 or 2 cups of coffee or soda. Up next, we have breaking news regarding the Washington Commanders. Our sports anchor Jasmine Grace has the insight for you.
And coming up, 2 Texas residents have struck gold in scoring the winning Powerball tickets, but the jackpot is still up for grabs. Stay tuned for more to find out.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
Owner Dan Snyder hires Bank of America to explore potential transactions, the team said. A deal for the Commanders could be worth as much as $7 billion. Snyder has owned the Commanders since 1999. In the last 23 seasons, the Commanders have made the playoffs 6 times and have yet to advance to a conference title game. We'll actually see if he sells the team after 23 years. Back to Chris at the desk.
A private business owner is at odds with her town as city officials say the mural she had painted on her salon violates city charter. Mariel Mose with CNN has more on the developing story.
We wanted to make sure people who are normally not well represented are represented, especially in rural areas like this.
Erin Orr hired a local artist to paint this mural on the side of her salon Hair Do or Die last week, a building that she owns with a message that she wants to send.
So we really wanted to just send a message of inclusivity and coming together.
Officials with Rush City gave Erin a zoning violation notification saying that this mural is violating the city charter because there's no mural ordinance in place right now, and they're giving her 10 days to take the mural down.
We do not plan on painting over it within 10 days like they are saying we need to do. We're hoping that the violation will be rescinded before then.
The mural is beautiful.
Pam Hagan owns a boutique down the block from the mural and welcomes the new artwork.
So I don't know why a friendly expression of diversity, beautifully hand-painted, would have to come down.
Rush City is a small farming town where diversity is more sparse, but Hagan believes it's something their town should embrace.
Shouldn't be political. It is just coming together, everybody coming together.
The local salon owner plans to put up a fight to keep her message for inclusion alive in Rush City. Rising demand for technicians in the world of travel as United Airlines is set to launch a new apprenticeship program. The program is called Calibrate and plans to hire 7,000 technicians in the upcoming years. The airline currently employs 9,000 mechanics and technicians, but expects to see retirement decrease their ranks. Trainees will be paid and employed during the program. I don't know much about sports, but I will be at the tailgate. I just hope it's not freezing.
You know, Chris, I'm really hoping to be at the homecoming game on Saturday, and I'm hoping for some nice weather as well. Let's go check in with our weather anchor, Peter Ramble, to see what we have for the week.
Thanks again, guys. So yeah, right now it is pretty nice weather outside. We have 68 in Sherman and Paris, 69 in Denton, McKinney, Sulphur Springs, and Dallas. Pretty across the map. 67 in Gainesville as we head up north, just a little bit cooler up there. And then 71 over in Graham and 70 in Stevensville, just a little bit warmer in the low 70s. But if we zoom out, if we look at our greater region here, we will see 68 in Oklahoma City. It's all pretty much about the same across the map. 71 over in El Paso, 68 in Abilene, 75 in Amarillo. We got 71 in Austin and 73 over in Shreveport, just a little bit warmer. And then looking ahead at our 7-day forecast, we're going to see that those 70s are going to stay for a while. It's going to be 77 tomorrow. It's going to get pretty warm for November Day. And then rain's rolling in on Friday, so keep that in mind as we head into that homecoming game that's coming up here for UNT. It is going to be kind of cold respective to the rest of the week on Saturday. It's going to be a high of 67, a low of 49. And then coming out of that, we're just going to go back into the mid-70s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Low chance of rain, probably not going to happen on Monday, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Back to you at the desk.
And a new Denton ordinance may go in effect, which will allow people with a criminal record to withhold that information in the midst of the hiring process. The policy called Fair Chance is a policy that will remove the criminal history checkbox in a job application. Currently, 37 states and 150 cities and counties have enacted the Fair Chance policy hiring policy. As of right now, Denton County only has a draft for the policy, but officials are looking further into the idea.
The labor shortage has a lot of businesses struggling to find employees, but in Miami, a Chick-fil-A owner-operator may have discovered the perfect recipe for staffing. Justin Lindsay had an idea for attracting employees, which was to switch his employees to a 3-day, 14-hour work week. Not long ago, business was booming for Lindsay, but his employees were getting burnt out, most of them working 70 hours a week. Earlier this year, he divided his staff of 38 into 2 groups and alternated weekly schedules into 3-day blocks of 13 to 14-hour shifts. Since making this change, Lindsay has been overwhelmed with applications.
The Denton County Transportation Authority announced last week that it will be cutting 3 of its 6 bus routes. Cuts were intended as a partial follow-through from last year's plan to end Denton's bus routes entirely. The DCTA Board of Directors had intended for the Go Zone program to entirely replace Denton's bus routes, but have since decided to keep routes 3, 6, and 7 in order to try and find a balance between the bus and Go zones. For more information on the route cuts and changes, visit the DCTA website at dcta.net.
2 Texas residents have struggled with scoring winning Powerball tickets. The jackpot of $1.2 billion is still up for grabs. The story coming up next.
And we will share with you about how UNT's students were able to help raise money for a local children's hospital. We will see you in a bit.
elections are coming up across the country on November 8th, and here at North Texas Television, we'll be giving you live updates throughout the night.
National state race updates, original content on political issues, and bilingual coverage, North Texas Television is here to keep you informed.
We'll also have experts in political science and sociology to share their takes on hot-button issues at stake in these races.
Our live reporters will be covering the evening in Dallas, Denton, and the state capital, Austin, Texas.
Be sure to tune in for midterm election coverage right here on North Texas Television. We'll be going live from 7 to 9 p.m. on Frontier 46, Charter 192, YouTube, and Facebook.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Welcome back to ntTV News at noon.
Thank you so much for sticking with us.
2 Texans have now each found themselves with an extra $1 million after the Powerball drawing on Monday night. The 2 winners, one in Cedar Park and one in Houston, both matched all 5 lottery numbers, but not all the Powerball numbers. The Powerball jackpot continues to grow and it currently up to $1 billion, or at most $1.2 million with the cash option.
When COVID hit, many sports had to take a break and some even struggled to get back on track. I had the opportunity to talk to one specific sports club here at UNT and touched on how their club is climbing to the top. Let's take a look.
Six of those being club sports. However, even though the number is low, there is still plenty of recognition and growth in one specifically.
Last spring, we got a reward for being the most improved club. After COVID, Climbing Club kind of took a hit. Our members went all the way down to like 10 or 11. And since then, we've gone up to over 100 members, and the club has improved a lot.
The UNT offers members the opportunity to compete at a local or national level. Climbing Club welcomes members with any experience or no experience at all.
This is my first semester of rock climbing, and I love everything about it.
There is one thing, however, that makes the club stand out and has possibly impacted the growth.
I transferred here from A&M, and I saw that they had a climbing club that wasn't super exclusive, so I went to first practice and I fell in love with people in the sport. So I wouldn't say that it's harder for girls, it's just harder for us to feel welcomed in it because it's so male dominated.
As Alyssa mentions, UNT Climbing has made her feel welcomed and has even added to her personal growth.
I have a fear of heights. And I'd have to say the fact that I'm like defying that fear every time I go up, it's kind of like made me a better person, I guess, because I've learned how to deal with that fear.
For some, challenges come in ways such as
Conditioning my hands, for sure. My hands are always messed up. I rip them constantly.
And for others, it's all in the mind.
That is the hardest thing, because a lot of people don't realize how much they can actually do until they like push themselves, and climbing really forces you to do that.
Besides their personal reasons to stay in the club, they all agree that the best part is the people and the trips.
We've gone to Waco, all the way in El Paso, like outdoor climbing with a group of friends from Climbing Club. I like put it together, everyone just pitches in, and we just spend like a weekend or a week together just climbing, hanging out, having fun. I'd probably say those are the best memories that I have.
For ntTV News, I'm Leslie Juarez.
And Eagles, if you've been keeping up with homecoming traditions, UNT's daily events are sure to have your interest. Today at 11, the Center for Student Affairs began offering free candy bars at Discovery Park. And even better, the candy bars are green and white, UNT's colors. If you're interested in getting your free candy bar, head over to Discovery Park room CG 130 while supplies last. And now to our segment anchor, Janae Blocker, who is going to give us some insight on Texas infrastructure. Janae?
Thanks, Chris. After the winter storm in 2021, the mechanics of Texas's weather and water pipes were questioned and brought to people's attention. State leaders at the time were in hot water as they had to answer to many upset residents who had busted pipes in their homes due to the weather conditions. Now, many plan to take their voice to the polls as 2 key runners face off for the title of governor in Texas. ntTV's Austin Hedgecoth has more.
Clean water, something we all need, but not something we're all guaranteed. The 2021 winter freeze exposed many flaws at the Lone Star State's infrastructure, including one delivery system we can't live without.
The whole thought process of, oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's gonna break eventually, and by the time it does break, respectfully, all hell's gonna break loose.
During the days, weeks, and months following the freeze, nearly 15 million Texans were left without access to clean water. Now, with the booming population, a thirsty economy, and an aging water system, Texas has some big decisions to make.
This can be an issue that, if it's not politicized, you can have good people making smart engineering decisions that will benefit people down the road.
But the two candidates up for Texas governor don't exactly see eye to eye when it comes to spending state money. Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke has proposed plans to address the air quality and water concerns across the state, while Republican incumbent Greg Abbott argues that border security and immigration should be the state's top priorities.
If you are targeting Texas to come to, we're going to show up in force and shut down the border.
However, no matter who gets elected, the new governor will have $2.9 billion federal dollars to work with, thanks to the massive Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act passed last fall.
It costs to invest. If we make important investment decisions now, we decrease the likelihood that those bad things will happen.
Additionally, with the demand for water expected to surge over the next few decades, the Texas Water Development Board recently agreed to pitch in $46 million in state funds to fix broken pipes, upgrade flood protections, and build new treatment plants.
It's all pen on paper until someone comes in and actually starts doing something, and I think the important thing is the action and not just the talk.
For ntTV News, I'm Austin Hedgecoth.
While plans are being developed for the water infrastructure in Texas, over the next several days, registered voters can go and vote for who they would like to see in their local offices. You may vote early until November 4th, or you may vote on Election Day, which will be held on November 8th.
Thank you, Janae. You know, Chris, there's a lot going on here at UNT with homecoming. Are you going to the football game this weekend?
You know, Leslie, I'm not a huge football fan, so I don't know, but I do know who might be there and who is a huge sports fan. Let's check out with our sports anchor, Jasmine Grace, to see what she has for us this week. Jazz?
Up next, we will be talking about the NFL trade deadline, the firing of an NBA coach, and Dallas's own Luka Doncic. Stay with us.
Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
The NFL trade deadline was yesterday, and it was crazy. There were 12 players traded and 10 deals yesterday, which was the most ever made on deadline day. Bradley Chubb was traded to the Miami Dolphins, and TJ Hawkinson got traded within the division to the Minnesota Vikings. Also, University of North Texas's very own Jeff Wilson Jr. was traded from the San Francisco 49ers to the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, our hometown Dallas Cowboys didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, but that's okay because we're headed into our bye week 6-2 feeling better than ever. The Brooklyn Nets have fired their now former head coach Steve Nash. The Brooklyn Nets are currently 2-6 and are coming off a disappointing season where they were beat in the first round of the playoffs. With stars like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on their roster, their expectation is to go deep into the playoffs and potentially win a championship. They have not gotten close since both players joined the team. Sources from ESPN say suspended Celtics coach Ime Udoka is finalizing the deal to be the next Nets head coach, but we'll have to wait and see if that falls through. Dallas Mavericks fan, is this the year Luka wins MVP? I sure think so. Now, mind you, we're only 6 games into the season, but you can't tell me he's not playing at an MVP level. He's currently averaging 37 points, 9.5 rebounds, and close to 9 assists. This man is a walking bucket. In fact, this man is basically a walking triple-double, and he's fun to watch. Behind-the-head passes, step-back threes. Need I say more? This guy is one of the best players in the NBA, so if you haven't jumped on his bandwagon, I suggest you do now. That's all I have for sports today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jasmine. Well, there is another wonderful way to think about others. UNT partners with Cook Children's Hospital every fall to build a bear that has a purpose and heart. ntTV's Grace and Love takes us to the Build-A-Bear workshop.
So today we are stuffing bears for Cook's Children. We're hopefully to stuff around 250 bears to give to Cook's Children. Something that I was really pushing for was doing something with Cook's Children because I was a Cook's Children patient for like a long time, was very sick. And they were very helpful, and so Cook's Children really spoke to me. So I met with our kind of liaison with Cook's Children and UNT, and I'm asked, what is the best thing that we can give you? And they said there's 3 things. We would love blankets, coloring books or like busy books, and teddy bears. The children who actually have the teddy bears hang on to those from start to finish of being at the Times of Cook Children. And knowing when I was little, when I got a teddy bear or stuff like that, especially to take something to the hospital when I was sick, was hugely probably one of the best things that I could have ever had going there. It felt good to give back to an organization that gave me so much and helps my community in my home community as well.
For ntTV News, I'm Grayson Love.
That's a beautiful way to give back to kids in need.
You're right, Chris. I wish I would have had a chance to be there. But thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.